Hello and welcome to In Stitches. This machine we've got on the bench today I just pulled out of storage, and today's video will be basically just going through and assessing the machine, giving it a quick clean up, lubricating, having a look around the machine. It's not going to be a full restoration. I'm not going full restoration. I'm not going to go through and do rust removal, things like that. The surface rust is going to remain in the meantime until I get around to actually going through the rust removal process. But this video is really just, as I say, just an overview, and we'll see if the machine sews. There's one aspect of this machine that's more interesting than others, to me anyway, and possibly other people who are New Zealanders. And that is if you see on the bed of the machine, I'll get you in closer in a second, but that logo there is D.I.C, and that is the Drapery Importing Company, established in 1884 off the top of my head. And that is a department store that was started in my hometown. So this logo here, I'm fairly sure is for the D.I.C department store, started in Dunedin in New Zealand. And they grew, and there were plenty of stores that they opened around the country, but the head office was in Dunedin. This logo here I don't really recognise as the same logo as the one that I remember from the 80s. I would say that the D.I.C had these machines made for them. So it says here D.I.C for quality. Here's another interesting thing here, is made in US America. I've never really seen it put like that. Normally you see it made in USA or made in United States or United States of America, not US America. So obviously D.I.C had these machines made in the United States, and then they imported them and sold them in their department stores. So yeah, a little bit of sort of local history for me, really. So this machine, sort of 1890s, I would say, at a guess. Again, I don't know for sure. And if there is anyone out there who is familiar with the Victory brand, made in the USA, I'd be keen to hear if what your thoughts are on the actual age of this machine. Just looking at the decals here, they're in pretty good condition. If I just get a rag here. Pretty good condition. Might be a little bit of paint off there, I would say. There's been a pin cushion. People strap a material on the front of their machines and use it as a pin cushion. It's probably what that is there, I'd say. Quite rough there. And there's the Victory brand there. You can have a close look at the decals on the right there on the arm. They're not looking too bad. That's the bobbin winder mechanism there. Stitch length, I would say, stitch length adjustment there. And we've got the little screw there to undo so that we can tip the machine back. We'll have a closer look at that soon. So it looks like someone's just plonked a bit of material under the foot there, which is a blooming good idea. It stops the machines from rusting up. I'm not 100% sure if that's the correct needle or not, but gee, it's a long needle. I'll be having a close look at that soon. But you can see that the little slides here, or that back one's, I think, that's seized up. That needs freeing up. We'll have a look at that in a second. But we've got the shuttle there. I'm not sure if I've got any actual bobbins. Judging by that thread there is a bobbin in the shuttle, which is good, because I'm wondering if that's actually a different type to the likes of the Singer one. It does look different. It looks a little bit wider. This diameter here, I think, is greater than a Singer one. Yeah, that's good that the shuttle's there, and a bobbin. Yeah, so it's quite a good idea to keep material under the machine like that, even if you just give that a light soaking in oil, just a very light soak, and it'll stop any rusting going on the bottom of the foot and feed dogs and the plate there, things like that. So if we just have a look over here, we've got a little slide out compartment here. I've not actually looked at this yet. Oh, we've got some folders here. By the look of it. Oh, here we go. There's actually a little card. Oh, well, it's confirmed. It is confirmed. D.I.C. Get that card out. Victory, date unknown. Sold by D.I.C. So there we go. And this is from the museum collection that I picked up about a year ago. Yeah, so we've got little folders. That's a little bias binder folder there. That's a little hemming folder there. You know, it needs cleaning up. You know, I'm not going to go through full restoration mode on this machine, by the way. There's another folder there. Little hemmer, a little bit wider than the last one, and then we've got another wide folder there. Hemmer, basically, and a mounting screw. What's this here? It's another little. It's another hemmer. 3/8 inch. Yeah, pretty nice. But yeah, you can see the state of the machine. It's not the cleanest around. That's basically as I got the machine, right? It's been sitting in storage pretty much since I got the load of museum machines, and I've literally done nothing with it. It's got a little bit of surface rust here and there. That will, I won't do too much about that today. At a later stage, I'll go through and, you know, do my best to clean these pieces up, you know, the rusty parts and whatnot. It's mainly just surface rust. It's nothing too serious. I'm just going to get it to the point where we can see if it sews. I'll lubricate it. We'll do a little bit of basic cleaning and see if we can sort of polish the machine up a little bit, make it look a little bit better than what it is now. So if we carry on having a wee look around here, we've got the hand crank here. And it looks like it's a traditional rotating direction of the machine. It's a little bit tight in places. You can see it's sort of stalling there. So yeah, definitely needs oil. Bobbin winder here. And if we have a look around the back, yeah, quite nice. Nice decals. It's kind of got a like a matte type finish to it. Yeah. Just undo that screw. We'll have a quick look underneath here. We'll go through this in more detail a little bit later. But that's the workings of the machine there. Okay. It's seen better days, but I mean, it's not too bad either. That pan there is a little bit rusty. Again, it's just surface rust. It's nothing too serious. So I think probably the best place to start would be maybe just to give it a little bit of a wipe down. It's, as I say, I'm not going to get too carried away. So at the moment, I'm just using a cotton rag with, you know, just a piece of old cotton material. And just literally just removing dust and whatnot from it. There's no water or anything on here, no cleaning products at this stage. So just give it a bit of a wipe. Get rid of a little bit of the dust and whatnot on it there. Okay. Picked up a bit of grime. Let's remove this foot here. just a standard presser foot. And might as well take the throat plate off. Just the single screw there. Needs de-rusting, needs that rust taken off. What I'll do after the video is I'll soak that to remove as much of that rust as I can there. This needle, she's a long needle. I'm curious actually as to whether it's the right one. If I just put the shuttle back in, you can actually get a rough idea as to whether the needle that's in there is, you know, close to being the correct one. Yeah, I would say it probably is the correct one. So what I'm looking at there is when the needle's right at the bottom of its travel there, you turn the machine in operating direction, you'll see that shuttle, the point of that shuttle come through, and it should come through quite a way above the eye on these machines. And it is. That I think is probably the right needle. I'd say that it's probably going to sew. But gee, yeah, that's a long needle. Yeah, let's compare that with a standard needle. So if we take a standard, you know, universal 15 by 1 or 130/705H, we get an idea. So I've got the shanks pretty well lined up there, and yeah, you can see it's quite a bit longer. And look at the point; it's very close to the eye. The eye is very, very low. Just have a close look at the needle point there. See, the eye is actually quite low. It's quite close to the point of the needle, whereas, you know, a standard needle, see there's quite a distance between the point of the needle and the eye. Yeah, it's quite different. So yeah, I'm not quite sure exactly what type of needle that is. Again, if anyone watching knows, comment would be appreciated. Yeah, that almost looks like industrial style, but just with that needle eye being down close to that point like that, I don't know about it being industrial. It's got quite a big scarf in it there. The scarf is that flat piece, you can see that shiny flat piece above the eye. That's about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit more, that scarf. There'll be a specific needle for this machine, not specifically made for it, but you know, this needle might fit many different types of machines, but I don't think I've got one of these. In fact, what's the brand on that? Oh, that's a Singer needle. It's got Semenko. It's got Semenko on the shaft there. Not sure if you'll pick it up in the camera. Yeah, look at that. Semenko. Is it? Pretty sure it says Semenko. It's pretty hard to get on camera. But yeah, Singer made needle. So this here, that's, oh, there we go, freed it up. I need to get a bit of oil on that. I'll go through that. We'll go through some oiling in a second. Let's have a look behind the faceplate here, see what we've got. It's very plain sort of faceplate, isn't it? No embossing or anything like that. Okay. We've got a very rudimentary take-up mechanism here. Yeah, pretty straightforward. She definitely needs oil. It's reasonably clean in here. I mean, you could go berserk and take this machine apart and give it a really good deep clean. So we might as well start by oiling this area. We've got a little hole on the top of the presser foot pressure adjustment knob there. That'll be to oil the top of the foot bar bearing, presser bar. Just a little bit on the lower bearing there for the presser bar. Same with the needle bar, lower bearing, top bearing there. There's a pivot here that probably needs a bit of oil. There's another one back there. You can't, it's pretty hard to see, but I'd get oil if not grease onto that. We'll just start by oiling it today. Okay. You can see a clump of dust there. It's a bit more here too, is it? Oh no, that's actually a little piece of metal there. But a very high wear point is this race here for the shuttle race there, so that definitely needs oil. Some machines you'll notice there's a little hole in the surface here, and that little hole will lead to a little reservoir, but this machine I don't think has one. Can't see it anyway. That's not a hole there. So you know, just manually oiling that is the way to go there. I mean, the machine is just so much freer now. I think it was those oil points in behind the faceplate that helped it. I mean, it's just turning over like a breeze now. Yeah, it's amazing what a bit of oil does. Get some down in there. Don't forget to oil the lonely old bobbin winder. It sometimes gets a bit neglected. That screw there could do with some oil. This is your engaging bobbin winder engaging screw. Hand wheel can do with some oil there. Should also be another one up here, I would say. Yeah, oil hole just there. Let's see if our stop motion. Yeah, the stop motion there is seized on the shaft. Oh no, it's not. It's actually just unseized itself. I'll get a bit of oil, just a little bit of oil in this at this point here. Oh, there's an oil point right there actually. There's one right there. Okay, let's have a wee look behind here just in case there's hidden oil points in here. Yeah, I'd be tempted to oil some of these parts in here. That pivot there, that's probably a fairly high wear point there, I'd say. Let's get a bit of oil onto there. That side, is it? Maybe that side, yeah. Yeah. Yep, that's pretty much all that you can oil there. The rest of them will be done from the top. That slider there, that's could definitely do with some oil. And that little guide there on the presser bar. There's actually an oil point there. I think that oils the slide. Okay, so I noticed the hinges were a little bit tough, so I might as well oil these hinges here. And tip the machine back here. Actually, what I should do while I'm here is I should just loosen this. Yeah, that's sliding okay. That's the stitch length adjustment there. It's probably a good idea to get a little bit of oil on that screw, on the thumb screw there, just to keep those threads lubricated there. And if we tip it back, we will have some. That's as far as it goes, is it? Yeah, that's as far as it goes. We'll just tip it. How far back is it going to go? Oh, that's good. I would be tempted to probably give that a bit of a blowout with compressed air, but in the meantime I'll just use a rag there to wipe up that dust and whatnot, spider webs and things like that. And you can also use a brush, or even just get tweezers in and pick out little bits like that there. But a good blowout with an air compressor would be the way to go. But I won't do that just now. As I say, I'm just going to give it a quick oil. There's no reason why you couldn't use the machine with it, even if it's got a slight bit of dust in it. It's no big deal. You don't have to, if you don't want to, you don't have to go absolutely crazy cleaning it to the nth degree. A slight amount of dust's not going to hurt it. They're pretty robust machines. I mean, yeah, you want to clean as much of the dust off as you can get to, easily. Let's lubricate these parts here. Yeah. I mean, the proper way to clean this properly by rights, you probably just about dismantle the whole thing and, clean it all, go right through it with a fine-tooth comb, for full restoration mode, that is. I think that's probably okay there. I think that's everything. There's not a lot to them. Oh, there's that linkage there. Do with a bit of oil. There's not a lot to them. You can see the way it's working. This here is driving the shuttle. This here is connected to your feed mechanism. So this is doing the back and forward of the feed dogs. This part here comes all the way along this bar up to here. Your feed dog is attached to this bar here. And you'll see it just moving back and forward there. It's also moving up and down. And that's driven by this here. So that's another oil point there. You can see it just drops down on this bar here. There's a raised piece here. Pretty basic mechanisms. And as far as oiling goes, that's literally it. I mean, I don't think there's any more oil points there. I might have missed one or two, I don't know. When sort of filming it from behind a camera, sometimes there's a possibility I might miss one or two, but I think I got all of them there. The other thing to remember is to oil these slides here. Very important. If you've got one of these machines or similar with these slides, it'd be a good idea just from time to time to pull the machine out if it's not getting much use, or you're not looking at it much. It's just to pull it out and oil these slides up from time to time, because these things can really jam up. That rear one was already starting to get quite tight. So that's how I can tell it's working in the operating direction, is because the feed dogs are feeding away from me when they're above the plate, which is what you'd expect, right? It's going to feed the material through. That feels fine. There's no reverse on this machine. Let's put that presser foot on while we're here. I'll tighten that up in a second when I come around the back there. I might as well put the needle in. The scarf goes towards the arm there, the inside of the arm. Excuse the scratches on my hand. That's the new kitten. She's getting a bit boisterous. Alice. She's not quite kitten anymore. She's more like a teenager. She's razzing around outside somewhere, enjoying the spring-like weather that we're having at the moment, even though it's still officially winter. Come around the back there, let's get that presser foot tightened up. That there will probably shine up a bit, maybe even just a bit of oil, but might need a little bit of cleaning product or something on it, but even sometimes just a bit of oil. Yeah, it's better. It could probably do with more cleaning. Let's just have a wee look at what effect oil has on here, shining this up. This is just outright sewing machine oil. It's nothing fancy. But yeah, it's, you know, it's shining up quite nicely there, isn't it? It's a little bit of grime coming off on the rag there. But yeah, to do this properly, if you're really going to get serious and get in there and deep clean this machine, probably cotton wool and water. Just don't pour water on the machine. I mean just a very slightly damp cotton wool bud and just water. No cleaning fluids or anything like that. And then, so you just work away on it, get it clean, and then you can go over it with oil like this here. But yeah, you definitely don't want anything too sort of harsh on there, especially around the decals. Let's see if we can clean up this D.I.C logo here a bit better. There's a little bit of discoloration there. Starting to look better already. Yeah, a little bit of discoloration on that logo there. Not quite sure what would have caused that. Yeah, just a quick wipe over with the oil there. I mean, it's made it look a lot better already. Just that quick clean like that. You know, it's looking a lot nicer. Even the wood there is starting to come up quite nice just with a wipe, you know. I'm not using oil on that as such. I'm just I'll probably just try a little bit of furniture polish on there or something like that. Might actually do the trick there. I've noticed too on the base, there's holes there for a treadle. So the holes go right through here. So I reckon that you could probably just sit this whole base here. See, it's got a lip here. I think you can sit this whole base into a table and use it as a treadle. And when you don't want to use it as a treadle, yeah, you could just grab the whole thing, I guess, take the treadle belt off and grab the whole thing, you know, like leave the table behind and take this out. And, you know, you can take it off to your mate's place for a cup of tea and a natter while you do a bit of sewing with your buddy back in the 1890s, I guess. Righto, I think the next thing to do is to wind a bobbin with it. Now, I'm not going to use this fancy thread here because that's quite nice for display actually. That, what is it, Clark & Co. Machine Cotton, best 6 cord, number 40, cotton thread made in Great Britain. Tension release up here. No automatic tension release here. It'd have to be late 1800s, wouldn't it? At a guess. 1880s, 1890s. You know, just judging by the way it's configured, I would say it'd have to be late 1800s. I mean, you've got just the way it is here, the manual tension release. I think, you know, I mean, automatic tension release was around at least in 1927. We saw in that last machine that I did a video on. It had automatic tension release, but you've got the manual one here. So yeah, I'd hazard a guess at late 1800s. As I say, if anyone knows for sure, yeah, give us a yell, because I mean, maybe my American viewers might have a good idea as to, you know, these US made Victory machines. So let's get that bobbin wound. I'm just going to use modern thread. What I'll do is I'll actually go over the top of this thread here because I want to save this thread. So I'll just do a little layer or 3 of white thread over top of this. I would say, I'll hazard a guess at something like this here, maybe under there, and over this. As I say, I'm winging that. If anyone knows for sure, again, comments would be appreciated, but it looks like that's potentially the way it'll go. We'll just get it started this way here. Okay. I mean, there's got to be a guide. It has to be that there, right? Because there's no other guide. So we engage by screwing the screw in, and you'll see that the bobbin winder rubber here will engage against the hand wheel there, and I'll just engage the stop motion clutch there. This isn't driving here. Yeah, that's too loose here. Same issue as that rotary, that 1927 machine, the rotary one. I think we can probably get a bit of adjustment there. That might be too much, is it? I might have gone a little bit too far there. That should be enough for a little demonstration there. Let's do a little sewing test. See if she sews. I would say this is fairly standard. Drop that in there, come down, down then up. Yep, easy as that. Drop the shuttle in here, just like that. Thread's pulling out of there nicely, and threading, top threading is just under the tensioner here, like that. We can release there, and then under this bar here, this guide, through the top of the take-up lever, down past here, but you want to hook that thread over there, so it comes in like that, through the take-up there. Like that. Down through there and around that guide there, just at the bottom of the needle bar, and then we will thread from left to right here, looking at the front, like that, and then we'll pull up our bobbin thread there. There we go, and we should be ready to sew. It's not feeding. Oh, stitch length. Stitch length was right down. Here we go. See how that looks there. Doesn't look too bad. I think even the tension's good. Look at that. Not bad at all. I'll just bump that stitch length up a little bit. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Pretty nice there. A little bit of oil contamination coming through on that thread, I think. Let's put it through its paces. I'll take the material and I'll double it. So that's 4 layers, 8, 16, right? So that's a fair thickness of material there. See how it handles that. The fact that, yeah, the feed dog, the presser foot's not quite climbing up onto that lump very well. I don't want to break this needle. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried that's going to break the needle. Alright, seems okay. If I just take it quietly. Yeah, I'm not going to push my luck with that needle. It just seems to be having a little bit of trouble pushing that needle through. And you know, with the needle being so long too, it's quite likely I could break it there. But I mean, if I wasn't worried about it snapping, if I had spares, I'd go for it, because it is sewing it. I think with a little bit of momentum, it'll probably go down there quite nicely. But yeah, no, it's sewing really well. Yeah, very neat. Looks quite good. Picking up a little bit of dirt from the rust there, I think, that bit of rusty discoloration there. But yeah, that's sewing okay. Can't complain. Well, that's it for this one. The machine tidied up really nicely, I thought, just for a quick once over. Obviously there's more work to be done to get rid of some of the surface rust, which I'll go through at some stage. Maybe I'll do that on video at a later stage. But the machine's sewing nicely. It's a nice usable little machine, and I do like the local tie-in with the D.I.C department store from my hometown, and you know, that's just a nice little thing to know that this machine was actually sold in the D.I.C. It was imported from America for them. Yeah, it's a nice little machine. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you as always to my patrons for your support, and thank you very much for watching.